All right, guys, we'll go ahead and get started. Get started today. It looks like we got a few more that are hitting on there, and some are in the background as that as well. So, thanks for joining us today. Today's a big day, obviously, in the world of Industry Choice Awards. We're going to gather here today in order to announce the winners of the 2025 Industry Choice Awards. This presentation will also be live, or will be recorded. Is being recorded, so it will be also on our website as well, on the industrychoiceevaluations.com website, once we can get that downloaded. And all the results, of course, are already at the locations as far as the data is concerned, but not the results. So this will be the first time that the actual results of the winners for this year's Product of the Year will be announced. So to kind of get us started on this, you guys kind of know how I love to do this starting off. We are brought to you live today from the boardroom of Oneida Molded Plastics at the New York facility. We're a U.S.-based manufacturer that's focused on the outdoor industry. We have 2 locations with 52 molding presses, over 200 dedicated employees, and we have molding engineering expertise, top-level quality control, tool shop, decorating, and assembly. So got to throw that all in there. So when we host that, because they allow us the opportunity to do something like this with the Industry Choice Awards. So we're proud to be a part of it. I'm going to be your host today. David Power. So I am the ICA chairman. We're, again, as a specialist supplier of the firearms industry, we're honored to be the 9th year of hosting the Industry Choice Awards, which is something that was kind of developed back when it was old Rockcastle Shooting Center. And we came up with a program, and this, I think, is probably one of our most exciting years from the standpoint of we're finally seeing some of the things that we started 9 years ago, almost 10 years ago now, of the Industry Choice really taking hold in the industry, especially when we're dealing with all the outside forces of things like the politics, the economics, and technology that's driving the data of the age that we live in today. And these factors, that we have started aligning them with strategic driving force of our vision at our company here, trying to make it easy for our customers to develop and produce great products. So that's kind of one of the reasons we do that. And we're really seeing that come to fruition now as we're seeing this data come in after the years of pulling the ICAs together. Quick commercial break. I got to have it. They pay for all of this. So we're going to tell you a little bit more about Oneida Molded Plastics real quick. These are things we do to try to make it easy. They're all laughing at me in the room here because we're sitting in the boardroom. But this is how we try to make it easy, guys. We try to leverage our entire engineering team. Our quality is designed into your product. On-site tool building and repair right below my feet. Large capacity for molding. We do customized decorating, one of the largest tanks in North America for hydro dipping. Complete on-site assembly and packaging. And guys, one of the things I added to this list now is studying the market, because it never has become more important for us to be part of the industry and part of the market that we serve. So that's one of the reasons we do that. Commercial breaks over. You know, you get ads when you watch a video. So here it is. I have to put this disclaimer in here just so you guys get it. Oneida Molded Plastics is the sponsor and the organizer and the administration of the evaluations and awards. However, we have no influence whatsoever of the data that's collected or the rankings of the products to determine the awards. This is all done from an evaluation team. This does not come from our company. So this evaluation program is designed as a service to the industry. We want to actually give you guys something back in the industry of raw data, providing directly back to the submitting company. Now, my last disclaimer on that is be prepared, because you may have some Davidisms, as we all call them, about in this presentation that may not necessarily represent the opinion of Oneida Molded Plastics or the Industry Choice Awards. Okay, so be prepared for some Davidisms on this. So without further ado, we'll kind of move forward into the process of what we do on the program. I started looking back at this as I was preparing the presentation about a review in time of the last 9 years. And you can't help but look at that in the last 9 years of our industry, all the things that have taken place. We go back to 2016, okay? That was the year that we had a record-setting year of 15.7 million completed background checks in the industry. One of the biggest years, record-setting at that point. We call that the Obama days, if y'all will remember. I mean, that was the best salesman the firearms industry ever had was Barack Obama as president. And then we move into a few years after that with what we classified as the Trump slump, where there was not a lot of activities. Things were kind of balanced out. And then we had COVID hit in 2020. We made 2016 look minute compared to the 21 million background checks that took place in that year. of 2020, which surpassed by far the previous record. Now, that looks great when you take that huge spike until all of a sudden, guess what goes up must come down. And boy, has it come down. So we've seen decreases over from 2020 down through 2021, 2022, 2023, and then it really dropped out in 2024. And so far, based on the current checks, looks like it's continuing to drop a little bit more. Let's hope it levels out again. Give you a representation of that. Look at the 25-year chart I've got on the section here. So you can see it's not all bad, guys. We're in a good position necessarily, just as a big drop from 2020. But if you go back 25 years to the year 2000, draw a straight line from that point all the way to where we were at in 2024, it's still an upward trend. It's just we've had a lot of ups and down spikes that have really caused a lot of headaches in the industry. So just wanted to share a little bit of that data because that's the 9 years of the Industry Choice Awards. So here we go. At the point for that, the whole point is that hope is not a strategy. We recognize that. We actually have to do things in order to survive in the industry that we love so much. And that, especially with the ever-changing landscape of the businesses. So one of the main things I put on this is understanding the customer needs. This is why we do the ICAs, why we developed this whole program, was to actively gather customer feedback, to analyze some of the behaviors of representatives of the market and kind of monitor the trends and see what kind of things we need to address and actively pursue and the pain points in order to better serve the industry. So the next thing we've got to do, of course, is demonstrate value as an industry. These are turbulent times. We know that. So we've got to demonstrate a long-term value to the customer, that we're strong companies in the industry. We're here for your Second Amendment rights, and we're here to develop and keep helping reduce costs and stay with the technologies of today. And of course, last, continuous in innovation, just continuously investing in research. Now's not the time, guys, out in the sales field, out in the engineering field, to start just taking lackadaisical, well, we can't do anything about it, because hope, again, is not a strategy. What we've got to do is really double down on the R&D type of processes, looking what's coming forward for the industry and how we can serve those people of those gun buyers and accessory buyers throughout the industry. So that's the whole point of having some of those slides about where we've been for the last 9 years. And we hope with what we do, we're at the Industry Choice Awards, we're giving you the data and the tools necessary to look forward to what the customers are looking for based on the representative group that we have. So how do we do that? We put a focus group together. Now, we talk about this. I have this slide in here probably for the last 6 or 7 years about the value of a focus group. If you were to go to try to do this on your own as a company even, you're talking about $75 a minute. I'm sure with inflation, that's gone up, okay, with all the stuff too. But we actually put together 26 evaluators this year. They spend about 25 plus hours on average working on just analyzing the products that you submit through this. We do it in 2 regional locations. We do one on the east over there and one in the Midwest in order to try to keep that data being less regional and more of a bulk look. So instead of you having to pay that, the cost to the submission company is zero. What you get back in value is the data. What you do with it is up to you. So now we'll go on to our agenda for the rest of the event. Now that we've got the prelude to everything about where we're at for the last 9 years, the industry and all that. What we're going to do today, finishing this out, is we're going to spend a little bit of the time about the details of the process, how we go about doing the evaluation process for this process, for what we do here. And then we're going to talk about our evaluators. You won't get their names, but you'll get to see a little bit about their statistics. 2025 product categories, and then of course what everybody's here looking for is the product award presentation for the 2025 year, which products were successful in getting through the evaluation process. As number 1. So as I mentioned earlier, we have an east and a west location. Our west location is out at the Gadsden Shooting Center in Iberia, Missouri. Middle of nowhere, beautiful facility, exactly where you want to be. Great opportunity, great range. We get a run of the place and can do what we want there. Chad Francis puts on a great host a great event for us out there at the ICAs as far as the location. We get to do what we want to do there. Same thing in Clinton, South Carolina. We go over there. The reason we changed it up and have an east and a west is divided up so we can have a little more personal attention with the evaluators on each parts of the coast and also have less regional data and more of a global data process. So how we do this process, Okay, this is if you've never seen it before, if you've got your data back in for the first time, this may be your first time looking at it. Okay, we develop a team of evaluators. Our goal is to take 20 to 30 people with a diverse background and experience within the industry, but they don't work for a company. They're not employed by a potential submitting company, so we can keep the bias out of that. Okay, so we take those folks in, and then we've got a process to where they go through leading questions. All these questions kind of start them off to where they're in a retail type of environment to begin with, as if they're looking at the accessory or the firearm in a retail type of environment for the first 5 to 7 questions. Then they take it to the range and they do more questions about what the functionality and all is. So we try to give them a couple of different opportunities to look at the product in different ways, one from a retail environment and one from an actual functional environment as well. But we try to do that to where they're doing the form, fit, function type of thing. And we're giving them leading questions in order for them to look at all of the complete components based on what the firearm is or what the accessory is. And then we set the stage. Okay, we put that all in and we collect all the data from those questions back through a process that all the data comes in anonymously. So we teach and we talk to our evaluators each time that what we do is they are providing you feedback as if they were sitting in a boardroom, just like I am with these people. And they're sitting there with the president of the company, with the engineering group, with the sales and marketing groups, with all their group. We try to tell the evaluators what they're doing is they're sitting down and having a conversation with those leaders of the companies about the product. You may see that through the comments and the evaluations that they give back. So that's our process. Let's talk about our evaluators for a minute, though. This is a fantastic group. We have a lot of return evaluators. The way we process and do this is the first thing we do is we send out the invitations, the first ones that have from the same people who evaluated the previous year. We get about 50%, 60% return, and then we fill the rest of the team with other applications for people to be there. So how they break up, we try to keep this as balanced of a team as possible. Okay. I asked them one of the questions that they fill out data on is what describes you best as an evaluator? Where do you concentrate most of your time? You can see that we've got a large percentage up there in the competition shooting. We always find that pretty cool because those are some of the most discerning buyers that you'll find because they're looking at things that they can run hard, they can race, they're working on them all the time. They've got multiple things of it. So we've got a lot of competition style shooters that shoot multiple different disciplines. And then we've got a lot of gunsmiths, law enforcement, military, hunting, general enthusiasts, and then all sorts of others that are just a good hybrid blend of all that out of the evaluation team. Total years of experience, these aren't any slouches. These are years of experience that they have throughout the industry. We got some young folks, we got some old folks, and we got some really old folks. Okay. And what they do is we take the time and we bring them in from that to say, here we go. This is how long I've been in the firearms industry or working with firearms, not in the industry, but working on firearms, shooting, hunting, gunsmithing, whatever. So you can just see these aren't just right out of we didn't pick them up off the side of the street. Lots of years of experience here. I also ask them the question about how much they travel, because I think that's important when we talk about influencers and things of nowadays. So if you can look at that, 2 to 3, a large percentage, almost 60% of them go to 2 or 3 different states doing something in firearm related activities. Several others, even down to that, 4 to 8 states, even further down from there. And some are unique, have even gone international, just doing things in the firearms related type of activities. So these are the type of people that are actually influencing and seeing a broad spectrum throughout the industry. I asked them about their proficiency. Okay, rank what their proficiency would be. And you can see, besides revolvers, take that little gut out there with the 7. Okay, but we don't have a lot of revolver stuff we're dealing with either. Large percentage of the evaluation teams, as you see, they're very ranked as expert level and high proficiency in all categories that we evaluate. Commercial rifles, AR platforms, precision rifles, semi-auto pistols, optics, ammunition. These are the guys you kind of want to see data from. And then we ask them the question about how many rounds of ammunition do they shoot a year? I don't know who this one person is that lied. I guess their wife must have been looking over their shoulder when they said they only shoot 500 or 101 to 500 rounds. I don't know who that one is, but anyway, the rest of them, you see the majority of them are shooting 500 to 10,000 rounds a year worth of ammunition that they consume. And then how much do they spend? This is the type of people we're looking at. Again, I don't know who that one person is up there at the top of the head that said less than 500, but they must have had a bad year, because the rest of it, all the way down, the majority, as you see, is spending somewhere between $2,500 to $10,000 a year on firearms and related gear. Okay, which is probably a low number for most of them. They probably don't really want to add up how much it is, especially if you're somebody like me. And then here we go on average about these evaluators. How much time do they spend on it? As you can see, this entire body that we represent here, they're spending a lot of time, 2 to 5 hours per week being the minimum that they're spending. And with a large majority, 11 to 20 hours per week, that they're spending on firearms related activity, whether it be reloading or internet searches, reading, that type of stuff. These are just people that we brought in as evaluators, and we tried to look for the large, good representation of people who knew what they were doing. Okay. Now, here we go. Most frequently used source of firearms and related information. Okay. This one is always kind of a surprise. I always ask these questions because I'm trying to get in the heads of the evaluators about if this is a representative. 27%, 27.27% of this group basically gets their information from personal interaction with other shooters, gun shops, groups like that. But then you see also things that are coming up more and more: websites, YouTube videos, social media, that type of thing for gathering information. And I ask them what to rank their primary motivation in purchasing a firearm in the next 12 months. Here you go. Daily carry, again, for another year, takes out one of the number one purchases that they'll make for the next year, quickly followed by competition shooting, hunting, and you can see the chart there. And we're wrapping it up a little bit. Again, I talked about these as competition shooters or different things that they do. You can see the list of people. This is just a great diverse group of people that have built their own firearms from components, or have taught firearm classes, or been a range officer at a location, shot for gun deals. I mean, you can see a large percentage out of the whole group on that. And I always have to ask, because the hunting is such a big factor, of course, in the firearm side of things, what do they hunt? What do they hunt? And you can see a lot of them in the middle grounds there of deer, predator, and across the board of hunters that are also obviously encouraged by firearms and interested in that. But what influences these people? What influences the buying group? Again, here we go with 26 people we take the statistics on. And the number one area on here, never a surprise, but it happens, is reputation. Reputation is overall the number one thing that motivates their next purchase, okay? Followed by price and then by brand. We have seen this chart over the last 9 years change a little bit. That brand used to be a little bit bigger, where people aren't as brand loyal as they used to be. It's appearing from the evaluation group, but they're more reputation oriented. And price always is a factor, but it's still hanging in there in the middle ground. It's not the number one motivator. And then where would they purchase their next outdoors product? This one is amazing to me. 66, almost 67% of the group of the evaluators said it would be from a local or privately owned shop. Okay. So again, trying to get into the head of the discerning buyer where they're at. And the next level, the next highest one up from that, was used from a friend. Okay. We all look for those deals from a friend who's getting rid of something. We do it from there. But you can see internet, online, only one, and then none of the above, only one from there. So you can see kind of where we're getting in the head of the evaluators and the representation of the team that we established together for you. And how many of them carry a firearm regularly? Well, there you go. 100%. Okay. So that's our evaluation team. Sum it up about these guys. I think it's very important that we develop and build a great team of folks. I mean, and they are some of the most discerning. They read manuals. They go through the details. They spend the time with your product. We try to put that together. So that's the kind of idea that this is not some kid sitting in his mom's basement has only ever seen a gun on a Modern Warfare 2 video game. Okay. These are real people who are the real type of customers that you're after. So now, without further ado, we're going to get into what everybody's here for, is the Products of the Year Awards. We take all of that evaluation data, we put it together, it goes to an auditing team. They take it, they take all the ranking, they take the comments, and they put it together. And this is where the #1 products of the year come out to. And I can tell you there has been some very close ones. There were several close ones this year. I think we evaluated somewhere in the neighborhood of 70 some odd products, lots in several categories. We'll talk about those categories as we go. So the product categories are created by the number of submissions. So if we have a pile of rifles, for example, like we did this year, we'll divide those rifles up into specific categories of hunting rifle or a specialty rifle, and then we do an overall as well. We also add in different categories as necessary when we have multiple submissions in the same type of category. That way to give a fair view across the board. And then we try to pivot every year based on the market trends, things that are coming up and things that are happening. Okay. So the categories that we have for 2025 this year are the shotgun, the lever gun, the optics, concealed carry, premium accessories. We have hunting rifle, handgun, specialty rifle, an overall rifle, and the coveted, one of my favorites is the Frank DeSomo Innovation of the Year. I got to tell a little bit about this one. I always do it. So Frank died several years ago. But prior to that, he was a big proponent of the Industry Choice Awards. He was one of those guys that just saw innovation. He said, if you're not innovating, you're dying. So he was one of those guys that really pushed innovation, loved what we did, loved the data and the feedback. In fact, from that, he was a 3-time winner of the ICA Rifle of the Year in 2017, 2018, and 2019. From that, after unfortunate passing of Frank, we named the Innovation of the Year, the Frank DeSomo Innovation of the Year product. And this one's going to surprise you guys. It surprised me. But the Innovation of the Year is the Caldwell Clay Copter. This thing was so much fun on both the East and the West. This is one of the coolest things I have ever seen. It just seems so simple, but it's amazing. We love playing with this thing. It's got these spinning clay targets that come out of there. The battery pack on it is where you lock it in like a magazine. You can dial it from fast to slow. You can shoot these targets out. It gives you unpredictable flight patterns. And I tell you, I don't think we had enough clays because everybody would just enjoy shooting this. Simple, great program, something fairly new within the industry. Caldwell's been developing a whole lot of things over the years, and they hit a home run with this one. And I think the innovation that they do is going to change the market where people can shoot in their fields, in their backyards, or whatever if you don't have neighbors, because you'll throw this thing up and it'll go a ways. But Caldwell did a great job of really innovating within the firearms industry for target throwing. Congratulations to Caldwell. You have won the Innovation of the Year, or the Caldwell Clay Copter. Is that good enough voice? Yeah, let's get a clap for it, guys. All right. Yeah. All right. Everybody, give your hands on that one. Now, the accessory of the year. This one's always tough because accessories are rough, man. I mean, there's a pile of stuff out there if you look at it. I mean, just go try to walk SHOT Show and just look at accessories. Piles of stuff up there to look at. Sometimes they're home runs, sometimes they're duds. But this year, I'll tell you what, this company came out of nowhere. And I think they've been developing for years. They got a lot of great engineering. They put in a product this year that just hands down won the accessory of the year. Without further ado, that's the Reptilia offset bubble level. This thing was one of the coolest little things. We've all done it before. I don't know about you guys. I've duct taped. I've put stuff out. I've tried to mount levels because when you're trying to do precision shooting, you know that this thing is something that you've got to actually do in order to make up for your can't while you're shooting. This offset bubble lever gives you a perfect place to do it. Locks it in on the on your optic cover. So fantastic thing. Reptilia, they've submitted several products this year. If you take a look at their website, you'll see some of the innovations, some of the cool stuff that they have. Great company. Hadn't heard of them before. The ICAs, they came in, and the engineering on this stuff is just working out great. So congratulations to Reptilia as the accessory of the year for the Reptilia offset bubble level. And now that would be something that was under $100 in the accessory category. Over $100, we move them into the premium accessory category. Okay. This was another cool one. It's kind of one of those a sleeper that you don't think about. You don't really deal with too much until you need it. And all of a sudden you see that these people are coming out of the woodwork and they're doing some fantastic accessories that you didn't know you need until they made it. That would be this year, Tandem Cross. Tandem Cross is a fantastic company there in New Hampshire that has come out. They submitted an entire pistol with all their accessories on it as well, plus the premium accessories on the side. They can take your Mark IV, they can take your 1022. They've got great several product lines that they've taken and enhanced and made these things more of a competition ready, more of a precision type of gun. They've taken some of the old classics and really beefed them up with a lot of engineering. Tandem Cross is doing some great stuff up there. If you've got a Mark IV or a 1022, those type of products, I highly suggest you check out Tandem Cross because they're doing some great products up there. So the premium accessory of the year is the Tandem Cross Mark IV Bolt. Let's give it up for those guys. All right. And here we go next. The Optic of the Year. This was a tough year, guys. We have seen several optics over the years. A lot of development of optics. This year was probably one of the slower years of the optic side of things coming in, but we had plenty of that came through into the evaluation this year, but we didn't have enough to separate categories. So we put them all into one category. This one is amazing, though. I'll go ahead and tell you. Go ahead and tell your kids they're not going to a state college, they're going to a community college or maybe not any college when you go to buy this new Sig CV25 thermals. This thing is amazing. It's up there price, but what do you expect from thermals? This thing is amazing. It's weapon mounted. You can take it in there. Hogs have no more chances when you've got this Sig CV25 thermals. They did a fantastic job. The clarity, the compactness of this, crisp imaging. Sig really hit it out of the park with a good package of thermals this year. For the Optic of the Year is the Sig CV25 thermals. Let's give it up for those guys.
We gotten married.
Damn vacuum ain't so.
Uh-oh, somebody needs to mute there. Sorry, guys. All right. And next, the Shotgun of the Year. Again, this has been an up and down category. We had very few shotguns earlier in the evaluations over the 9 years, and then all of a sudden a lot. So this year was several shotguns submitted as Shotgun of the Year this year. Lots of innovations, lots of cool stuff, lots of people coming out with different stuff. But one of the ones that we saw that really took it over the head by the evaluators for what they looked at was the Mossberg Pro SPX 940. Now, we know they've had the evolution of the 930 shotgun, then the 940. Now they've really taken this a new level with the SPX 940, made it a competition ready, lots of accessories, oversized controls, high-speed shooting sports type of process, gas operated. Mossberg's really been doing some development and a lot of work on this. And this year, the Shotgun of the Year is the Mossberg Pro SPX 940. Give it up for Mossberg. Good job, guys. And next, the Concealed Carry Gun of the Year. Whoo! Lots of competition in this category. Seems like we're getting more and more concealed carry type of guns in the market. So you can go to any gun store and you'll see everybody's got a different version of it. Okay, lots of different stuff on there. This company, though, I got to brag on them. One thing that I think they do very well, at least from what they tell me on the background of things after I deliver awards to them, is they actually take the data. They actually use it every year. They actually talk to their engineers. They actually talk to the people and make new developments on it. And this is no, they were very obvious that they did a lot of updates and changes on this because the Concealed Carry of the Year is the Canik Mete Prime. They took the original Mete, they took data of what the market was telling them about needing enhancements. They improved the ergonomics, the optics ready slide. They refined the trigger on it, and the Canik for the value and the price and just the operation of this gun. The Canik Mete Prime has won the Concealed Carry Handgun of the Year. Here we go, guys. Give it up for the Canik. But then you've got the regular handgun of the year. Here we go. These are more where we split it out and have full-size guns, okay? This one, it's usually a tough situation. I watched data for 9 years, how sometimes even a good economic gun will take this up and win, and then sometimes a rare premium price gun will take this award every year. This year, I believe it was kind of a work of art actually took this award this year because the handgun of the year is the Beretta 92 XL Corsa. This thing is a work of art. You can check its grips out, its marbling, the gold accents that they've added to it, full steel type of pistol, race gun competition ready to go. It's got a price on it, but the value definitely showed out from the evaluation team when they started through the rankings on how they just were amazed at how beautiful this gun was. This is one you can put on your hip and go to church on Sunday. It's a beautiful, beautiful pistol. Well done, Beretta. The Beretta 92 XL Corsa is the handgun of the year. Give it up for Brandon. And moving on to the next. The lever action of the year. We've seen this lever action world change dramatically over the last couple of years to a point that while enough submissions, we've had to actually create the category for lever action guns. And here we go. We had several of them this year that are in the lever action of the year process. So here you are with the lever action gun of the year is the Savage Revel. So the Savage Revel here, classic release from Savage Arms, came out with the quick takedown, smooth lever action, very classic 22 lever action gun, well priced. Evaluators loved it. This gun was a beautiful addition, very classic level to come back in. While everybody's doing several things, Savage decided to go with the Rebel with a very classic look. So congratulations to Savage Arms for the lever gun of the year, the Savage Rebel. Give it up for them, guys. And then, like I said earlier, we had so many rifles this year. We had all sorts of different versions from AP5s, all sorts of different specialty type of guns this year that really needed to be targeted and zeroed in into their own category. Okay, so we took that and we put these specialty rifles all into one category for their purpose or whatever. And hands down, this one was almost a no-brainer. The numbers were amazing on there. You pick this gun up, you felt like you were picking up a pin off the table. It was so light. The specialty rifle of the year was the Ruger X22 Carbon. This gun was carbon fiber barrel. It's got already with the 1/2x28 threaded muzzle brake, fitted cap threads, BX trigger on it, light, crisp. I mean, this gun is super light. It amazed everybody when they picked it up. You could see it in the evaluation data, and as they were going, the smile it puts on your face. Great job from Ruger on the Ruger X22 Carbon as the specialty rifle of the year. Give it up for me. All right, and then wrapping it up, 2 more awards, and we're gonna be finished. Here we go, guys. The hunting rifle of the year, as we talked about, the bolt action rifles have really come on strong this year. Several companies have done innovations, worked on their things, come out with new lines of hunting rifle, and this year, the bolt action or the hunting rifle of the year category, Weatherby came in strong with their Weatherby Range 2.0. I think this is something they've worked on for several years because they've talked about making a submission, not ready, these type of things. Here they are. They really hit it out of the park. And based on the evaluation data, a modern bolt action rifle platform from Weatherby. It optimized the precision shooting. I mean, it's a precision gun and a bolt action platform. They did a great job, Weatherby, with taking your time and coming out with a great program. The hunting rifle of the year is the Weatherby Range 2.0. Give it up for them, guys. And again, because of the rifles this year, seems to be the rifle year. We had several rifles in the category. Okay, several of them in there, but overall, one stood out. I mean, it in all categories, highest rank that we had. There was one rifle that just was stood out above everything else, and this is considered the overall rifle of the year. This rifle, the Sig Cross 6.5, actually won rifle of the year about 3-4 years ago, maybe, when they had it in there. But they came back in with the Cross STX from Sig Sauer, and they've actually made all sorts of upgrades, collapsible stocks, threaded brakes, those type of things, free floated M-lock handguard, and they really stood out and they ranked really high above all rifles in there. So the overall rifle of the year this year was the Sig Sauer Cross 6.5. Y'all give it up for Sig. So all of the information and the data has been sent already to the companies that put in, not who won at that point, obviously, but that's been sent. The product that was left with us this year, lots of product goes back. When they choose to donate that donation comes back in, and the select submissions are then donated to Generation 3. Generation 3 is a 501c3 organization. We run a match in September, the second weekend in September, around September 11th, 12th area, whatever that weekend falls. And those products actually go in and we do a wall of guns. We raise tons of money. And what Generation 3 does is we actually take that money that's raised and we put it into a fund. And so now shooters throughout the country that are junior shooters can actually turn in for a scholarship, and we'll pay their match fee to go to matches all over the country, and they don't have to pay the entry fee to shoot matches. So we're trying to give back from the ICAs to help out Generation 3 in the cause of continuing to grow the firearms industry and continuing to grow the sport. So final notes that we have for today, and we'll wrap it up. All the data has been sent to the contacts that submitted the product. So you get your raw data, only your raw data. You don't see other people's data on there. The trophies for the 2025 ICA award winners will be delivered or shipped out to you directly to the company contact. So if I'm heading your direction at some point, I may save that trophy for us to personally come in and talk about data and me to hand deliver that trophy to you, or we'll just mail it to you, either one. Take note, 2026, we're doing this again for a big 10-year anniversary here for the 2026 ICA submissions. They're all going to be due by March 15th of 2025. So go ahead and mark your calendars. Be thinking of what products you're ready to submit for next year. Again, as we talked about, all of this presentation that we've just given, plus this the PowerPoint slides, will be on our industrychoiceevaluations.com website here within the next week or two. As soon as we can get everything downloaded so you can access that at any time. If you'd like any more information about that, you can always go to industrychoiceevaluations.com or to OneidaMoldedPlastics.com and contact us. I want to thank you to all the companies' submissions for this year, all their hard work for the evaluators that they've done, and we look forward again to serving you in 2026. Thanks, folks.